Hi, I'm Nini. This is my story about growing up in a world that often didn't understand me. One day, after an IQ test, I came second. Pika got the gold trophy for a perfect score, and I was left with the silver cup. My parents didn't even look at my cup. They just called me an idiot and told me to try harder. I didn't know what to do. I thought maybe if I studied harder, I could earn their love, so I buried myself in my books, studying late into the night. When the alarm went off, I forced myself to get up. My eyes were always swollen from lack of sleep, and my body was constantly aching. As I walked into the schoolyard, I saw Emily's parents standing there. When our families saw each other, the smile on their faces was almost too much to bear. I just smiled back, trying to hide how awkward I felt. During the test, Emily and I worked hard. We both tried our best. But towards the end of the test, my exhaustion caught up with me. When the bell rang and the teacher began collecting the papers, I woke up in panic. I had barely finished half the test. When the teacher handed the papers back, I felt my heart sink. I got a B+, while Emily got an A+. Emily looked at my grade and smirked. At the end of the school day, Emily proudly showed off her A+ grade to her parents. Then my parents arrived. When they asked about my grade, I handed them the B+. I could see the anger in their eyes. They didn't say much, but I could feel it. They took me home, pushing me toward the desk, piling more books in front of me. One afternoon, my parents took me to the department store. As we walked through the aisles, we bumped into Pika's family. Pika's parents picked up some toys and art supplies, but Pika shook her head. I watched them walk over to the book section. She picked up many books. I, on the other hand, wandered over to the art supplies section. I picked up a palette and some paints, just looking at them for a moment. But my parents saw me. They got furious. They told me that I was lazy, that I didn't work hard enough, and that's why I couldn't get an A+. Mom and Dad made me go to the bookstore, where they picked out a huge stack of books for me. Later that week, when I was coloring and painting, my mom brought in a new tutor. She was strict, cold, and very serious, the opposite of what I needed. The tutor opened her bag, pulling out a stack of thick textbooks. She gave me a series of exercises to work on and then stood by with a ruler, ready to teach. I sat there, writing and doing exercises from dawn until dusk. Mom and Dad came in with food, but when I ran to grab it, the tutor stopped me. No. Finally, after hours of working, I finished everything. One day, I was painting in my room, but then Mom walked in. She saw what I was doing and got furious. She grabbed my brushes and paints, and before I could stop her, she spilled them all over the canvas I was working on. Mom took me to Pika's house. Pika showed us her room, and it was filled with trophies and awards, shelves stacked with books. Then, in the living room, both our moms decided to have us take a test. Pika breezed through it, answering each question easily while I struggled. I was stuck on a question, unable to finish it, and my face turned red. Mom scolded me in front of Pika and her family. I could barely hold back the tears, but I had to. Afterward, Pika invited me to go outside and play with the kids, but I shook my head and said I didn't want to. Mom got furious again. When we got home, Mom walked into my room, saw my art supplies and paintings, and she exploded. She grabbed all my paints and brushes and threw them in a box, locking them away. It was Lisa's birthday, and I was excited to go.
Okay.
I spent the evening before the party painting a special gift for her, a picture I was proud of. My friends are waiting, all excited to go together. I proudly showed them my gift for Lisa. But just then, my mom came in. She saw me and immediately told me I couldn't go.
No.
I tried to beg her, tears welling up, but all she did was scold me even more. Mom dragged me to my room, saying I needed to study. She told me if I didn't finish my work, I wouldn't get any food. I worked, but I was too hungry, too tired. I couldn't focus. And then I fainted.
Oh, no!
Mom panicked, calling the family doctor to come immediately. They both stood by my side, looking worried and guilty. Later that day, Lisa's dad knocked on our door. He was amazed by my painting. He said he was the owner of an art gallery. He wanted to meet me because he saw my talent, and he believed my paintings were worth more than I could imagine.
No.
But Mom immediately interrupted, saying I needed to focus on my studies. But my dad ignored her, walking into the house to gather my art supplies. I painted a few more pieces, and Mom and Dad both seemed surprised by the talent I had. They had never really seen me as an artist before.
Woo!
Mom and Dad's eyes full of regret. They finally realized how wrong they had been. The next day, we went to the art gallery with Lisa's dad. People surrounded my paintings, admiring them. One man bought one of my paintings for an enormous sum of money. Mom and Dad were shocked. My parents looked at me with new eyes full of pride. They lifted me up, smiling, celebrating my success. But I couldn't help but feel a little bit empty.